Section 2. Structure and scope of the EU AI Act. Before we go any deeper, we need to learn how to read the EU AI Act properly. This may sound trivial, but it's one of the biggest sources of confusion. Many people open the regulation, scroll through dozens of articles, and immediately feel lost. That's because they're reading it like a textbook. The EU AI Act is not a textbook. It's an operating manual. Structurally, the regulation is divided into three critical layers. First, the articles. The articles define the legal obligations. They tell you what must be done by whom and when. Second, the annexes. The annexes are just as important, sometimes more important. This is where classification lists live. This is where technical requirements are detailed. Third, the recitals. Recitals explain why something exists. They are not legally binding, but they are essential for interpretation. Here's a practical rule. If you want to understand intent, read the recitals. If you want to understand obligations, read the articles. If you want to understand classification, read the annexes. Most compliance failures start by ignoring one of these layers. In this course, I'll explicitly tell you which layer we're working in at every step. The next critical concept is roles. The EU AI Act does not regulate companies in general. It regulates roles in the AI value chain. The most important role is the provider. A provider is the entity that develops an AI system or places it on the market under its name. This includes companies building AI products, companies embedding AI into their own solutions, organizations deploying AI internally in some cases. Next is the deployer. Deployers are organizations that use an AI system in their operations. For example, a bank using a third-party credit scoring model, an HR department using an AI recruitment tool. Then we have importers and distributors. These roles matter mainly for enforcement and market access. Here's the key warning. Many organizations assume they are just users. But under the EU AI Act, that assumption is often wrong. If you customize an AI system, retrain it, or significantly change its behavior, you may become a provider. This distinction has massive compliance implications. One of the most common questions is simple. Does this system even count as AI under the law? The EU AI Act defines an AI system broadly. It includes machine learning models, logic and rule-based systems, statistical approaches that infer outcomes. This surprises many people. You don't need deep learning. You don't need neural networks. You don't even need training in the traditional sense. If a system processes data, infers outcomes, influences decisions, it may fall under the definition. This is intentional. Regulators did not want companies escaping regulation by technical labeling. The practical takeaway is this. If your system makes or supports decisions, assume it may be in scope and then assess exclusions carefully. Not everything is regulated. The EU AI Act explicitly excludes certain areas. For example, military and national security systems, pure scientific research under strict conditions, some open source activities. But be careful. Exclusions are narrow. They are not blanket exemptions. Many organizations assume research gives them full freedom. It does not. Once a system moves from research into deployment, obligations may apply. Let me summarize the top 3 scope mistakes organizations make. Mistake number 1. We didn't build the AI, so we're not responsible. Wrong. Deployers have obligations too. Mistake number 2. It's just an internal system. Internal systems can still be high risk. Mistake number 3. It's too simple to be regulated. Simplicity does not remove risk. If a system affects people, rights, or access, regulation may apply. In the next section, we'll move to the heart of the EU AI Act, risk classification. Recap Section 2 Summary. In this section, you learned how the EU AI Act is structured, who the regulation applies to, what counts as an AI system, and where most organizations misunderstand scope. With this foundation, we're ready for the most important skill in this course: classifying AI systems by risk.